This is Y News with Angelo Castro III, William Theo, and Darlene Basingan.
Good evening. Most Filipinos still trust the leadership of President Rodrigo Duterte despite the controversies hounding his administration. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
Based on the latest Pulse Asia survey, the approval and trust rating of the chief executive is the highest among the top government officials. He got 80% both in his approval and trust ratings, while Vice President Leni Robredo obtained 57% approval and 55% trust rating, while Senate President Aquilino Pimentel has 55% approval and 52% trust rating. House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez and Supreme Court Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno have the lowest ratings. Malacañang said the public is confident with the leadership of the president, though the survey was taken during the time when there is so much political noise.
Despite the multifaceted political noise, President Duterte is still the most approved and the most trusted government official in the Philippines today. The survey conducted last September 24 to 30th at the height of the demolition job against the president, even implicating some members of the president's family.
The official also said the Pulse Asia survey will be an inspiration for the Duterte administration to work harder, give comfortable life for the Filipinos, and resolve the criminality and illegal drugs in the country. Malacañang said the public's support to President Duterte is stronger than those who don't.
For all it's worth, at least it's an attempt to shake the foundations. But apparently, as the Pulse Asia rating has shown, that there seems to be an enormous amount of appreciation for the president, not just from a particular isolated report.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacañang.
House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez commended the hard work of his colleagues for passing some important bills before the session breaks. Grace Casin tells us why.
Before a break of the second regular session, the lower house was able to pass 48 proposed bills. Among them were the proposed mandatory installation of CCTV cameras in public vehicles, compressed workweek scheme, the universal healthcare, Filipino identification system, gender equality, and the general appropriations bill.
Inaabot kami ng alas 4:30 ng umaga para magtrabaho at tapusin kung ano yung dapat naming tapusin.
Despite their efforts, the House Speaker expressed disappointment on the Senate's action on the bill that the lower chamber have passed. Majority of these bills are still stalled in Senate. One of them is the proposed revival of the death penalty, which the lower house had passed several months ago.
Ay tanong mo yan sa mabagal na kapulungan, huwag dito sa amin. Dahil dito kinakaya namin lahat.
For now, the lower house is preparing for the bicameral conference in order to reconcile their version of the Senate's version on the tax reform package.
I would like to propose to the other chamber to bring their notes as well in terms of impact on economy, impact on consumers, at saka revenue projection so that we can discuss based on those parameters.
Since the Congress opened on July 2017, they enacted 12 laws. Among these were the expansion of passport and driver's license validity, free internet access in public places, free college education, the Anti-Hospital Deposit Act, and the postponement of barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections. Both houses of Congress target to pass the 2018 national budget at the soonest possible time. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Meanwhile, the mandatory tree planting bill passes the committee level of the House of Representatives. The bill requires the conduct of regular planting of trees on school campuses, villages, cities, municipalities, and parks. It also tasks the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DENR, to create a green committee that would monitor all tree planting activities. The proposed law prohibits the cutting of trees except when necessary in order to protect the public. In other news, Malacañang has clarified that European Union ambassadors are not expelled from the Philippines. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
You are interfering in our affairs kasi mahirap lang kami. Magbigay kayo ng pera, then you start to orchestrate what things should be done and which should not happen in my country. Do not come to to this country again. We do not need you. Now, the ambassadors of those countries listening now, tell me, because we can have the diplomatic channel cut tomorrow. You leave my country in 24 hours. All of you.
After the tirades of President Rodrigo Duterte yesterday against the European Union, Malacañang clarified that there is no directive from the government to expel the ambassadors of the European Union from the country.
There's no directive to do that.
EU said the delegation of the Progressive Alliance who visited the country recently is not an EU mission, and their statement against the policy of the country is not the statement of the EU. Trade and Industry Secretary Ramon Lopez said it seems that there are people behind the visit of the Progressive Alliance delegation who criticized the anti-drug war and wanted to provoke President Duterte. However, the official did not mention any particular person or group.
Ako, when I saw that, but ito na naman to? Sino to? Kasi when we talk to the guys in the EU, hindi naman ganyan yung dating nila, yung approach nila eh. Parang tingin ko nga, somebody asked them to come over at manggalit eh.
Meanwhile, concerned agencies are doing their part to clarify the position of the Duterte administration with its diplomatic ties with the EU. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacañang.
Some employees of the Bureau of Customs or BOC opposed the decision of the Customs Commissioner Isidro La Peña to bring in officials of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency to the BOC. Here's why from Aiko Miguel.
According to the president of the Bureau of Customs Employees Association or BOSEA, Remy Princesa, it seems that the Bureau is becoming an extension of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or PDEA. This following Customs Commissioner Isidro La Peña plans to bring in the BOC, his own personnel from his former agency. Princesa says the BOC chief should have just trained BOC employees and placed honest and long-time workers in the BOC.
Ito po ay mga PDEA officials na alam naman natin ang PDEA po. Ang master po nila ay ang droga. Dito po sa customs, ang kailangan ma-master mo mga valuation. Kailangan siguro natin more on customs rules and regulations.
Commissioner La Peña, on the other hand, explains he needs trustworthy men who could help him transform customs. Some of the men La Peña brought in were former PDEA Director Wilkins Villanueva and Director Yogi Ruiz, who replaced resigned customs officials.
I have to bring in some people that I need in the transformative measures that I have to take in the bureau. As you know, we have a problem. The bureau is the corruption that is existing. Those whom I brought in are helping me a lot.
The employees of Customs, meanwhile, plans to hold a protest, but they will wait first for the reply of Commissioner La Peña to the position paper they sent.
Hihintayin natin muna kung kailan tayo makausap ni Commissioner para ma-address natin ang mga concern natin regarding the employees' movement.
The BOC chief says he is ready to listen to the employees' group's concerns.
Very soon. I will be meeting with them also. At meron pa mga iba dyan nakapila on the line. Hindi ko lang mapagsabay-sabay sila. In fact, ang aking mga meetings up to 10 o'clock na nga ng gabi.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
And truckers and brokers are demanding for a faster system of inspection on container vans in the port area. Aiko Miguel is back to tell us why.
It takes 3 to 4 days before container vans can exit the port area due to congestion and long queues. This has been a situation after the Bureau of Customs suspended the operation of its green lane. Truckers complain the lack of facilities for drivers and helpers while they are waiting for the inspection of their respective container vans through X-ray scanners. For this reason, the Alliance of Brokers and Truckers in BOC appeals for a faster system and exempt cargoes with good records from thorough scrutiny of the BOC.
Dahil mga driver po namin, concerned po natin yung safety and health. Hindi lang po yung cargo ang concern natin, na lalong-lalo na po yung mga pahinante na sa labas lang po, sa tabing ilog ng Pasig, doon na lang po sila natutulog. habang inaantay ang truck na lumabas.
They claim that they suffer big loss in income if the dispatch of their containers are delayed. They lose around 144 million pesos due to the delays. Customs Commissioner Isidro La Peña said they have settled the issue in a meeting with the Brokers Association yesterday.
Yung traffic doon sa loob ng MICP, pina-arrange ko na maiayos.
The brokers also hope that fixtures will be stopped so that bribery in favor of a faster inspection will be eliminated.
Kung ano yung transaction value, yun ang kukumpyuta namin. Minsan naman yung custom, sinasabi, mababa yung binayaran mo, pwede ba nating taasan? Hindi naman po pwede kasi kailangan may basis. Yung basis namin is yung tinatawag na transaction value.
La Peña warns that any personnel who will receive tara or grease money will be dismissed.
Yan yung kinocomplain ng mga stakeholders, mga nag-apply ng mga permits, licenses na mabagal masyado at grabe ang mga hinihinging mga lagay. Ngayon is making good. First time daw ng mga tao na walang hininging pera sa kanila.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board apprehended several taxi drivers during an anti-colorum operations today. Jo Anano tells us why.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB apprehends 7 taxi drivers and a driver of a sport utility vehicle in Pasay City today. The agency discovered that some taxi drivers and private vehicles are charging 50 pesos per every passenger coming from Buendia to SM Mall of Asia. LTFRB board member Attorney Aileen Lizada herself posed as a passenger to catch in the act the driver contracting fare. After confirming that the cab driver does fare contracting, she ordered the driver to stop along Jokno Boulevard where other personnel of the LTFRB and Philippine Highway Patrol Group were waiting. Aside from Lizada, authorities also stopped some taxi drivers who are found not using their meters. Some cab drivers argue they don't want to do fare contracting.
Si driver, marami ho talagang nagagalit. Tapos kami, ayaw rin namin gawin to. Pero kailangan namin gawin para tumino yung taxi na mga driver po.
Alam ko ma'am yun, pero ngayon lang nangyari sa akin, parehas talaga ma'am ako. Lumapit kasi yung caller.
Some of them even said that some passengers themselves were the ones transacting how much they have to pay.
Hindi po talaga po ako nakakontrata. Alam ko po metro kasi po alam ko pong mali. Kaso yung pong kanina kahit po tanong po yung pasahero, kasana po hindi naman po isang pasahero po ma'am eh. Actually po ma'am, sila po may kuwan sa akin. Sila po talaga may kagawan.
The passenger on the other hand says,
because of the hassle, I'm very late for work then kaya
I need to see somebody there sa MOA po. Masyadong matagal kaya.
Meanwhile, the LTFRB has this reminder to the drivers.
Ang per ulo, yun ho ay sa jeepney at sa UV. Ang nagpe-per ulo na taxi ay colorum.
The apprehended vehicles were brought temporarily to the central office of the LTFRB. The apprehended taxis was ordered to pay 120,000 pesos while the vehicles will be impounded for 3 months. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
Some transport experts express support on the proposed carpooling scheme of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA. Joanano is back to tell us why.
Some transport expert believes that the proposed carpooling of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA will help in easing the problem on traffic congestion in Metro Manila. Dr. Primitivo Cal, the Executive Director of the UP Planning and Development Research Foundation, believes that the volume of vehicles in Metro Manila roads will decline once carpooling pushes through. He adds that carpooling will be more effective if MMDA designates specific lanes to ensure smooth flow of vehicles. But he also believes that drivers may use the scheme to take advantage of their passengers.
Of course, sharing kasi sasakay ka sa private car, di ba? So, might as well share the cost of operating cost, but not as a business for profit.
Transportation lawyer Attorney Vigor Mendoza is also in favor on the idea of carpooling, but he emphasizes that the policies and regulations of this scheme should be carefully studied so as not to violate the property rights of a car owner.
Property rights yan, no? Privacy yan. Sasakyan mo yan. You can use it any way you choose, diba?
Kung gusto mong magsakay ng pasahero at para makadaan ka ng EDSA, that's your choice. That's your property rights. No? Kung ikaw ay pagbabawalan para gawin yan, no? sila dapat ang magpatunay na meron kanila na batas. Hindi ka basta-basta pwede ka pulihin. No?
He also admits that this may result to commitment of certain crimes.
Ang issue yung kidnapping, di ba? Baka sumakay, tapos kidnapping yung mga tao, gano'n, no? Eh ngayon wala kang narinig kidnapping eh. There's this security issue talaga. Meron tayong naririnig na namomolestya sa loob ng sasakyan. These are the risks, no, that a passenger would have to face. So, huwag ka lang basta sasakay kung saan, kung di mo rin kilala.
MMDA clarifies that as of now, the idea of carpooling is just a proposal and is subject for a thorough study to know if the Metro Manila Council will approve the scheme. Joanano, UN.
Next on Y News. The Philippine National Police wants to require motorists to use half-face helmets in line with its campaign against riding-in-tandem criminals.
Muntinlupa Court postpones anew Senator Laila de Lima's arraignment.
And tropical depression Odette accelerates into a severe tropical storm. Disaster alert level raised in the Cordillera region.
Y News will be right back. Some motorcycle rider groups in the country have expressed opposition to the PNP's proposal of requiring motorcycle riders to use only half-face helmets. Here's why from Monokson.
Philippine National Police or PNP Chief Ronald Bato de la Rosa announced yesterday that the police would intensify its campaign against riding-in-tandem criminals.
Kaya kung riding-in-tandem ngayon, pumanda kayo at bubuhos namin lahat ng galit namin sa inyo.
In line with this, the PNP Highway Patrol Group seeks amendments in some provisions of the country's helmet law. The police unit wants all rider of motorcycles that are 400cc and below to use half-face helmet.
Half-face lang, so makikita yung mukha ng tao, ng drivers na. Ang reason naman doon, yung 400cc below, although they can run high speed na pero not that much, no? Tsaka ang ginagamit ng mga riding in tandem natin ngayon is usually yung mga maliliit na motor.
The HPG also expresses support to the proposal of the Land Transportation Office or LTO to imprint on the vests of motorcycle riders their plate numbers. Authorities see this as one solution to address crimes involving riding in tandem. However, some motorcycle groups express opposition to the said proposal. One of them is the Motorcycle Federation of the Philippines.
Ang pagtuna nila, i-control nila yung baril. Kasi kung wala namang baril, wala namang mamamaril. Yun ang control nila.
According to Love Tengsico Tioseco, a known superbike racer and road safety advocate, authorities should not sacrifice the safety of riders. Tioseco says it is the right of motorcycle riders to choose what type of helmet to use, whether it be a full face or half face helmet.
What we need is police visibility, not depriving motorcycle riders from wearing safety gears.
Meanwhile, Telly Buhay, the marketing manager of a helmet manufacturing company, explains that wearing of any type of helmet can provide protection to riders.
Pag naka full face ka, so protected yung buong mukha mo. So magkaroon in the event of a crash, so safe ang iyong brain, ang skull, and the face. Ngayon, sa open face, since open face siya, is you get almost the same protection sa skull and brain, except for the face part.
The proposal to amend the helmet law is still pending in the lower chamber of Congress. It might undergo plenary debates, which could tackle if whether such a proposal can protect the public from riding in tandem criminals, or might only put the lives of motorcycle riders at risk. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
The personnel of the Bureau of Jail Management and Phenology and Philippine National Police and several village officials inspected a prison facility in Binyan, Laguna today. Desi Longbowen tells us why.
The Laguna Bureau of Jail Management and Penology or BJMP ordered all their detainees to get out of their jail cells earlier this morning. Prison authorities unclothed the male detainees and frisked them. Afterwards, the operatives of the Philippine National Police or PNP and several village officials went inside each detention cell to inspect if there were any contrabands. Inside dorm number 1 that houses 200 prisoners, authorities found a lighter and needles. According to Jail Warden Senior Inspector Eric Agagon, the said inspection is part of the directive of President Rodrigo Duterte to clear all prisons across the country of illegal drugs.
Ito po ang pinaka-congested, pinakamasikip na kulungan sa buong Pilipinas. Sa singaw po ng kanilang katawan at masikip na ho. Yun po ang the primary na dahilan kaya mayroon silang mga sakit sa balat.
The BJMP Binyan is among the most congested prison facilities in the country. Currently, there are 600 inmates in 6 jail cells in the said facility. However, each jail cell has the capacity of only 10 detainees.
Inline po ito sa programa rin ng ating Pangulo sa paglilinis po sa mga pitan, sa mga droga, sa mga contrabands ng cellphone. At yung iba pang matutulis na bagay na nakakasakit sa mga inmates natin.
The local government of Laguna also plans to construct a huge prison facility next year. Leslie Longbowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Commission on Human Rights, or CHR, is glad with the decision of the government to assign the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, as the sole agency to conduct all anti-illegal drugs operations in the country. However, the Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption has expressed concern over PDEA's ability to totally put an end to the Philippines' problem on illegal drugs. Rajel Adora tells us why.
The Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, or VACC, plans to send a letter to President Rodrigo Duterte about his decision to assign the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, as the sole agency to lead the country's war on drugs. The VACC is worried that PDEA could not handle such a huge obligation, especially since it has only more than 1,000 agents across the country.
Well, that is only effective siguro kung NCR, Metro Manila. Pero pag pinag-uusapan na yung buong Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, yung scope, yun ang worry namin. Kaya nga sana mapag-usap-usapan.
But for one of the critics of the government's drug war, the decision of the President to assign the campaign to PDEA alone is a good one, especially since it is the main function of the said agency.
There has been a lot of positive statements from different officials of the government that they will address the gaps in terms of logistics and in terms of budget for the PDEA.
Meanwhile, PDEA assures of the legitimacy of all the anti-drug operations it would conduct.
Lahat ng bubuksan, lahat ng hahawakan, dapat nandun ang media sa harapan. Para legitimate, para walang reklamo. At saka yun naman sabi ng Presidente, di ba? Na ang lahat ng media are all invited to go with us, to go with the operations of the PNP and PDEA.
Rajel Adora, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Meanwhile, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or BJMP, sacks the jail warden of the Metro Manila District Jail. BJMP fires Jail Superintendent Gemelo Taol after authorities discovered contrabands and illegal drugs in the facility he was supervising. Jail authorities confiscated in the said facility suspected shabu hidden in a box of salt, several drug paraphernalia, and a bladed weapon. Authorities also seized from the detainees 40 cell phones, 62 SIM cards, 9 USB devices, and fake packets of cigarettes. The said operation is part of the recently launched Oplan Greyhound of the BJMP. The management of the BJMP initially warned jail wardens to just resign from their posts if they cannot clear of contrabands the facilities that they are supervising. The Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court has once again reset the arraignment of Senator Laila de Lima on a drug-related case in relation to her alleged involvement in the illegal drug trade inside the new Bilibid prisons. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
The arraignment of Senator Laila de Lima on one of her illegal drug trading cases has been deferred again. In today's hearing, Judge Amelia Fabros Corpuz of the Muntinlupa RTC Branch 205 decided to reset the reading of the charges on November 24. This is because the senator has two pending motions for reconsideration. It was the third time that de Lima's arraignment on illegal drug case was postponed.
Yung prosecution humingi ng panahon para sagutin yung aming motion for reconsideration na binigyan naman ni Judge ng 10 araw. Humingi rin kami ng 5 araw naman para sagutin kung ano man yung magiging comment ng prosecution.
Judge Corpuz has already denied de Lima's second motion to quash and her separate motion to be allowed to attend specific sessions of the Senate and the inquiry on extrajudicial killings.
We have not yet read totally the MR, pero it would seem that all the issues that were raised in the two motions for reconsideration were already raised in their previous MR and in their previous pleadings and were already past the time. And we are confident that it will also be denied.
De Lima's lawyers believe the allegations of the DOJ do not constitute a case for illegal drug trading and should be dismissed. De Lima was charged for allegedly receiving drug money and vehicles from drug lord Peter Ko to aid her campaign last 2016 elections. Meanwhile, the senator was upset by the Supreme Court's dismissal of her petition to nullify her arrest. She says the majority of the justices seem to turn a blind eye to the persecution being orchestrated against her by the Duterte administration.
Giveaway.
Importante po, substantial justice. Ang diwa po ng batas ay justisya o katarungan. Pinaka-importante, hindi ako nakakapagod. Hindi ko na tutupad ng maayos yung aking tungkulin bilang senador.
Senator Rene Sagisag hopes the justices will come to see what was really happening in de Lima's case.
Kung si Laila, after winning, tumahimik o sumali doon sa partido Hunyango, hindi siya ngayon nakakulong ngayon eh. Kaya her real crime is being critical of Duterte in human rights.
Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Muntinlupa City.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, will still help in the drug operations of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA. Lea Lagan tells us why.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, expressed full support to the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, which has been designated as the sole agency to lead the government's war on drugs. According to the AFP, they can provide assistance in terms of the security of the PDEA agents who would conduct anti-illegal drugs operation. The AFP said this is if the PDEA will seek help from them. According to AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel Edgar Arevalo, the military can assist PDEA agents during anti-illegal drugs operations, especially in areas with presence of organized drug syndicates or rebel.
Kung ang PDEA mismo ang hihingi ng assistance buhat sa atin, sila ang nasa lead agency, then we are willing to give our help. Sapagkat isa lang naman ang objective natin, to neutralize these illegal drug syndicates and illegal drugs operations.
Arevalo clarified that the AFP is not mandated to join any drug operations. However, it can assist for the protection of operatives, like in the provinces of drug operating units such as PDEA, PNP, and NBI.
Ever since, ang AFP naman talaga, hindi naman talaga tayo nagkakandak na anti-illegal drugs operations per se as a rule. Unless, ayon sa pangailangan ng PDEA, ng PNP o ng NBI, ay kailangan tutulong tayo.
Lea Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Aguinaldo.
In other news, the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, provides livelihood projects to 23 local government units, or LGUs, in the region of Ilocos. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III also distributed checks worth more than 33 million pesos to local government officials at the Chicosat College Gym in San Fernando City in La Union. DOLE expects more than 6,000 individuals to benefit from the said livelihood projects.
Senator Risa Ontiveros believes that it is high time for Congress to pass into law the mental health bill. Leslie Longboen will tell us why.
Yung late night na hindi ako makatulog and stuff, it's because of that. There's really noise there. Na parang feel there's so many voices talking to you, na parang telling you worthless, na parang yung self-harm and everything.
Alexandra Castro, a law student who has a bipolar disorder, describes the difficulties of having a mental illness. Mental health issues are among the causes of suicide. According to World Health Organization, 800,000 people die due to suicide worldwide every year. In the Philippines, 1 out of 5 adult Filipinos is suffering from mental health disorder. For this reason, Senator Risa Ontiveros believes it's time to pass the mental health bill into law.
Well, itong mga nakalulungkot na mga kamakailan lamang, mga dagdag na pagpapakamatay ng mga kababayan natin kasama ng ating mga kabataan ay lalong nagbibigay diin sa pangangailangan na maipasa na yung mental health bill. Dahil halos tayo na lang yung bansa sa Asia Pacifico na walang mental health program dahil walang batas tungkol sa mental health.
Senator Ontiveros added that people with mental health issues should get appropriate care and not be judged by the public. The bill was already passed on third and final reading in the Senate. A technical working group is already working on integrating similar counterpart bills at the House of Representatives. If passed, the public will have access to basic mental health services in communities. Leslie Longboen, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
New methods of preventing the transmission of rabies are being pushed by some advocates of anti-rabies campaign. Abby Santa Ines will tell us why.
The number of individuals bitten by animals with rabies like dogs and cats continues to rise in the Philippines. Based on the Department of Health or DOH, from more than 700,000 cases in 2015, it rose to more than 1 million the following year. Of the said cases, more than 200 died of rabies infection. This prompted several groups to look for new ways to address the spread of rabies in the country. One is the launching of a so-called pet eye chip or pet microchipping program.
An absolute way to identify a dog, link it to its health records, and also to the owner.
Through the said program, one can determine the identity of the owner of a dog and if the canine has already been vaccinated. The said microchip can be implanted in any animal with a weight of 300 grams and above.
To the expressway, di ba? Easy trip, yung mga when you go time, yung mga cashless, it's the same technology. You run through it, the scanner reads, and then it identifies.
Students from the Technological Institute of the Philippines in Quezon City, meanwhile, developed a rabies prevention mobile application.
The Rabies Free 2020 mobile application will help raise awareness on the effect of rabies in the community, specifically pet owners and everyone who are unaware of the right treatment or prevention, and to locate the animal bite treatment centers.
The mobile app contains various information about the disease and the penalties imposed to those who would violate the Republic Act 9482 or the Anti-Rabies Act. Abby Santa Ines, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Meanwhile, the Cordillera Region Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council has declared a red alert status. Storm signal number 1 is now raised in Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Batanes, and the Babuyan group of island. The Office of the Civil Defense in Cordillera reported that power is currently down in 4 towns in Abra due to the storm. So far, 42 families, or a total of 124 individuals, are affected in Santa Marcela and in the town of Luna in Apayao Province. Meanwhile, several roads are now closed to motorists due to the onslaught of the severe tropical storm Odette. This include Abra, Kalinga Road, Coner, Cabugao Road, Calanasan, Apayao, Ilocos Norte Road, Banawe, Hungduan Benguet Road, Junction Talubin, Batlig, Natonin, Paracelis Road. Landslides were also reported in Abra, Ilocos Norte, and Benguet.
2 p.m. today, may 3 kalsada ang national roads na nakasara, isa sa Abra, isa sa Apayao at isa sa Ifugao. And we're still verifying itong isang kalsada sa Ifugao kasi kung nakasara talaga ito o hindi. Kasi ayon sa MDRIMO, walang saradong kalsada doon. Pero sa report naman ng DPWH Cordillera, itong Banaway Hungduan Road ay nakasara.
Coming up on Y News. Wildfires make San Francisco's Bay Area's air the worst quality on record as authorities warn of potential health risks.
UNESCO regrets U.S. decision to break away from the organization over anti-Israel bias and politics.
UNTV dive team features the largest species of manta ray in the world that can also be found in the Philippines.
More from Y News after this break.
The UNTV dive team explores another wonder of creation also found here in the Philippines. Brian Evangelista will tell us why.
Open your eyes and see the world below the seas. It's the wonder of God's creation that makes us believe. See you at the dive.
Did you know that the largest manta ray can also be found here in the Philippines? Upon the UNTV dive team's visit to the Bicol region, we discovered that there remains a compelling reason to dive despite the fact that it's not the season of whale sharks. Members of the Bicol Dive Center brought our team to the Manta Bowl, a one boat ride away from Donsol, Sorsogon.
Meron po tayong tinatawag na side trip na mga turista, yung Manta Bowl, which is makikita po nila yung tinatawag na manta ray. Nagpapasalamat po kami dito sa aming lugar kasi una-una dito makikita yung harapan at makikita mo talaga ng close encounter yung tinatawag na manta ray.
The gentle giants have an average width of almost 5 meters, a length similar to a passenger bus. They eat planktons and small fish. It feels so good to get a glimpse of these creatures created by God.
3 metro ba yun?
Sige po, nasa 3 meters po.
Pero yung pangalawa
po medyo malaki-laki ng konti.
At yung pangatlo
halos kaparehas din.
Mga 6 meters na ba yung pangatlo?
Wala pa po, mga 4 meters lang.
4 meters. Kasi napakalaki na talaga niya. Pag nilapitan mo siya talagang makikita mo kung gaano kakaliit. Hindi ko akalain na makakita tayo. Ang galing yung spotter.
Don't miss this Bicol episode of the Dive Philippines. The program airs on UNTV every Saturday from 5:30 in the afternoon to 6 in the evening. Brian Evangelista, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The GSIS of Furious poses a challenge on the Senate defenders this Sunday. Bernard Dadis will tell us why.
The main game of Sunday's UNTV Cup triple-header features a hardcore battle between the Senate defenders and the GSIS Furies at the Pasig City Sports Center. The Furies has just come from a 103-95 loss from the two-time champion AFP Cavaliers last September 24. Despite this, head coach Mike Sagitgit says he's satisfied with his Cubs' performance.
Pero maganda yung nakita kong result. Even we lost this game, nakita ko parang mas maganda yung gelling nila ngayon compared to the last season.
Ahead of the face-off, the GSIS team gears up its new face and plays.
Maganda na. Yun ang sinabi ko sa run and gun. Still the same game plan. Gusto ko magamit lahat ng rotations ko kaya gusto ko tumakbo sila. Even defending.
On the other hand, the Senate defenders, who has just come from a victory over the BFE Firefighters last Sunday, prepares its side with 5 new players: Jeffrey Sanders, Michael Danomega, Pantic Paraon, Garrett Sevilla, and James Ryan Mangaran, who are strong reinforcements to star player Marlon Legaspi. The Furies defenders battle is set on October 15, 5 p.m. with live streaming via UNTVweb.com. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Those are the reasons behind the news, October 13, 2017. Among Hilo Castro III.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am William Theo.
And I'm Darlene Basingan, because we need to know.
We will always ask why. Thank you for watching
Why News.